Hello builders, welcome back. This is day 2 of our MyxoTech website build. Just to quickly recap, in the first episode we built this beautiful header and I left the question open whether it was correct to wrap this SVG in an A tag, and I can say that actually it was correct. I did a bunch of research in a few communities to get that sorted out. So that was fine. So for today, what we're going to do is we're gonna start building the actual first, at least the first section of the website, and with a little luck, depending on how things go, we might even build the second one. We have about realistically 30 to 40 minutes. So let's see where we can get here. So this is the section that we're going to tackle now. And I've opened brxe. I'm going to delete my pre-made content here, and I'm going to press escape because I don't want to have this search bar active. Instead, I want to use this really nifty feature of Advanced Thema where I just press the letter S and it inserts a section for me in a container. And inside the container, we want to have two blocks. No, we want to have one block actually, and a button. So, and we don't want to have the button inside the block. It should be like this. There we go. So this is our section. I believe this is all we need. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna need to do some figuring out how I'm gonna build this overlay. But I have some ideas, and we'll see. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. We'll do this last, okay? So first of all, we have our block, we have our button. Now, inside the block, what we want is we want to have the pre-heading, we want to have a heading, and we want to have this text, and we want to have a frame that is going to be absolutely positioned and is going to have this shape with the right side being open. So inside the block, we're going to put the pre-heading, which is just a basic plain text. So it's good, not basic, no. Basic text is A. Okay, sure, I don't mind that. And we're going to have a heading, which is going to be an H. And we're going to have another basic text. And I think we now have all the elements that we need. I kind of want to figure out first, actually. I want to get the hard part out of the way. I'm not going to lie to you. So I want to figure out first how we're actually going to do the background. And I'm going to pause for a second because I have a message on my phone that I need to tend to. And I'm back. So I took actually a little bit of time before I press record again to figure out how we're going to do this. It's a very nice actually way to do this. I can just use a gradient as an overlay, which is what I expected would work. And lo and behold, it does. So I'm on the section. And you might notice I'm starting at the ID level. I know that, and that is not a problem. So we're going to put this background image in. And we don't want it to be the full size. We want it to be... I'm just thinking something. Okay, so this background image is actually a PNG with a transparent background, which gives me some flexibility, because if I want to have the background color behind this image, if ever I want this to change, this color here behind, right, then I can, because the PNG has a transparent background, I can just use a different background color. But the sacrifice that I'm making is that I'm using a PNG here, which has a much larger file size than if I actually had a JPEG with an actual background color in there. So just while I'm doing this, I'm thinking it's probably a good idea to actually turn this into a JPEG, and then just, you know, if ever it comes to us having to change the background color, to then just redo the JPEG. I'm going to do some thinking about this. Again, you see, not all of this is prepared. There's questions here that come up while you build. This is a live build. This is what happens. So I'm not here to give you preconceived answers. I'm here to, well, have you along while I figure some stuff out myself. So you know what? For now, I'm going to keep this idea in the back of my head, and then we're gonna go with what I am doing now. We're gonna keep going with this PNG, which I did compress. So I think it's 100 and something kilobytes, and then we're gonna see if later I change my mind. So we have this PNG here. What we wanted to have is, first of all, we want it to be center aligned. We wanted to scroll. Actually, you know what? Well, we can have it fixed. It would be nice. It's going to be a nice effect. Then we don't want to have a certain background blend mode, but I don't want it to. I do want it to be repeat, and the background size is going to be custom, and I think 10 rem is more than enough. So 10 rem wide, and obviously I don't need a height, but you know, if I did put in a height, then it would be, you know, all squished unless I put in the exact correct height. So this is our background image, and then when we scroll at a later point, it's going to stay fixed in the background. So what else do we need? We need a background color. And then for this whole section, we want the text to be in white unless there's a specific text that we change, which we can then do in that module, in that element. So here's this. Now we go to gradient overlay, which is the most important, interesting part. So we're going to put an overlay on here. We're going to make it type linear, and we're going to angle it. I don't know, let's say 93%. Wait, degrees. Yeah, 93 degrees. It's in degrees. So 93. Don't want to repeat it. We're going to have color. Want to have a solid color. The color stop we want to be, let's make it 55%. And we're going to add a color, which is going to be transparent. So I can just type transparent in here. And I want this to be 55.1%. And there we go. So now we can do this. It should be fine. Now, this went pretty swimmingly. I'm quite happy with that. We're going to do some housekeeping here. So this section is our intro. It's best if I type it correctly. Then we have the container, which is just going to be the wrapper. We have the block, which is going to be our, God, naming things is hard. I'm going to have it intro blurb. So there we go. Probably at a better later point, I'm going to have something better for this. Pre-heading. We're going to have the heading, which is going to be the heading. And then we have the, oh, I have the blurb again. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, so this intro actually is not the intro, it's our hero section. And then we have this blurb. This container is just going to be the intro, and then inside the intro we have the pre-heading, heading, and blurb. Now we could style this first, but I kind of want to, I'd rather put in the actual text first. So the actual content. So chemical diversity for a new era. That's our content. Very nice. We're gonna have this, the heading, and we're gonna have to wrap this MyxoTech in a span. There we go. We're gonna have this. Triple click, Control V, and we have the button. What's the button? Access our library. There we go. Now I'm thinking probably this stuff, if I write some CSS for this, root and then star, max width, I don't know, 30 characters. No, that's not properly, that's not. Yeah, because of course 30 characters in one How do we do this in a scalable manner? All right, so I would say these ones actually need to be in a wrapper. I'm not gonna try to max with this stuff. Also because I don't think it's smart. It's not necessarily the best practice to use wildcards in HTML, like the star selector, if you can avoid it. So we're gonna wrap this in a div. I'm gonna call this div intro text. We're gonna have a heading inside the intro text. We're gonna have the blurb inside the intro text. And yeah, best way to do is in the right order. And now this intro text we're gonna give it a width. So a max width of 50%. There we go. Look at that. Look at how nicely this works once we do it in a workable manner. Now I'm thinking, since we're going to be reusing this isn't just an intro. How did I call these things in Figma? I called them claim. And I like that term. This is a claim. This claim is going to reappear down here. It's going to reappear down here, right? So that's what I'm going to call it. Claim. Claim body. No, just body. Then we have the pre-heading, we have the heading, and we have the blurb. And we have our button. So now we're ready to do some styling here. The span is going to get a class. I'm going to call it brand. And this class brand is going to get, where do we put the CSS for that? No, I mean, this needs to be global CSS. I'm not going to use brxe for this. I'm just going to go in the backend and make a style sheet for that using WP Codebox. This is going to be in layout. Yeah. Dot brand color var. I think it's just var brand. Let me double check. The variable manager colors. No, not this. Color manager. Var brand. Okay. So now if I save this, it should auto update. Bingo. Wonderful. MyxoTech, unlocking microbial dark matter chemistry. Okay. So these two, we want to stick them close to each other. So we don't want to have a gap between them. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put them in another wrapper. Div here. I'm going to call this head wrapper. I'm going to put this in here. Blurb. I'm going to style this. Put the gap in here. Spacing. This is our space M. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. This div is flex, display flex. And then we're going to have a row gap. Like this. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing anything wrong? Or is this just a bug? What if I refresh here? No, for some reason there's a gap in here now. Why is there a gap in there now? That makes no sense, does it? I do not get that. Beats me. Okay, I'm going to figure it out. Okay, so something is putting, well, first of all, this needs to be an H1. So, and the H1 has a top margin, which shouldn't be there. So we're going to put here in the head wrapper, I'm going to put some CSS, root H1. There we go. I'm going to look into why this is happening. Again, by probably posting in the forum, and I'll get back about this to you guys in a later episode. Okay, took the note. Now, this is actually pretty big for our H1, so I'm thinking, you know, I think the whole page width is actually a little bit wider than my normal. Is it? No, it's 11. It's 1100. So yeah. Okay, never mind then. No, CSS variable manager was right. Let's look at typography. 36 is still okay. And then on smartphones, it's going to be 32. We'll, you know, dial this in a little later, but for now, this is probably fine. Once the design comes together, we're going to see what really fits and how well it fits. Line height for H1s, let's make it 1.5, 1.2, 1.3. Nope. Yeah. 1.25. There we go. Now we're going to go here, go here. The wrapper needs some row gap as well. And you can see how this is coming together, right? This is actually pretty nice already. So we're pretty close to where we want to go, but we're missing one important ingredient, of course. In the body, the head wrapper, we want to have a padding. We're going to put here a padding of all sides space XM, 24 to 30 pixels XXM, perhaps a little much, XM. Actually, no, what am I doing? It needs to be on the body. Right, so there, I'm going to have space XM. Can I? Oh yeah, I can. I can always keep this open, right? Expanded by default, expanded by default. Right, and then I think all hail Maxime. Yay, look at that. Nice. So now what we need is the frame. So inside the body, we have our head wrapper and the blurb, and we're going to have a new div in here that we're going to call frame. And here's what's going to happen. The body is going to become position relative. And the frame is gonna, should we style it first? No, we're not gonna, we shouldn't style it first. We're gonna position it first. So it's gonna be position absolute. 0, 0, 0, 0. For now. Yeah. For now, this is good. then we're gonna put border. We're gonna put 5 pixels. This is one of the cases where you can really just use 5, where you can really just use pixels. And it's gonna be the color, this color, and it's gonna be solid. And there's our thingamabob. Actually, we don't want 5 pixels on the right side. So we're gonna use a before and an after for these, okay? Now, I could do this, I could use the brxe user interface to just make a before and after here now, but I think it's actually easier, really, to just write a bunch of CSS real quick. So we're gonna go root, and then root before and root after. Right 0 with 5 pixels. Height, space, what did we have? XM? Let me double check. Not on the frame, but on the body. Actually, we want to have a locally scoped variable for this. So we're gonna, and here in CSS, we're gonna write a locally scoped variable. Why? Because, well, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you in a moment. We're gonna call this claim padding. And then as the claim padding, we're gonna declare space XM. There. And now I should be able to put this variable in here. On all sides. Is that right? Yes. So I'm using the variable in here as the claim padding. And in the before, I'm going to use the variable in the frame. And the before on the frame, I'm going to use the variable as well. So content and position absolute, right 0 with 5 pixels, height root before, I'm going to go top 0. And now it's not working and I'm not sure why. So I'm not going to waste your time while I figure it out. Again, I'm going to pause here. So it didn't show because I didn't give it a background color. So just to show what I did here, I gave it the root before, right? And the root after. They both get no content, so that makes sure they just appear at all. Position absolute. Right 0, because I want to have them here at the right edge, right? And I want to have a width of 5 pixels, which is just the width of this. Actually, I'm going to use a locally scoped variable for that as well, but for now, I'm just going to show you what I'm, how I'm, just to make it appear and show you how it's built. Then the height of this is going to be var claim padding, so it is the same height as the padding. So if I ever change the claim padding variable, then this is going to grow or shrink alongside. Now, the last thing I want to give it, of course, is this background color var accent. Yeah, for obvious reasons, because I want that background color there. And then the root before gets top 0 and the root after gets bottom 0. So let's do that. Bingo, there they are. Now, one thing we want to do with the body is to give it a layout max width. Wait. Another frame. We don't need a right on this. Instead, we would need a width, which is going to be, I don't know, 70%, something like that. Let's make it 80. I mean, I'm gonna have to do some work on that layout. And obviously it's not working quite well yet. Probably if we, yeah. Now it grows dangerously close to this. Is this at 50%? Okay, is what at 50%, you might ask. So is this gradient, is this really the exact halfway point? I'm not really sure if I designed it to be just at 50%. I think there's no harm in just pushing this out a little and just giving this whole claim a little bit more room to breathe horizontally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the hero. Is it the hero? Yeah. I'm going to go to the background, and for the, no, I'm going to go to the overlay, gradient overlay, angle in, color 1. I'm going to make it at 50. Oh, let's make it at 60%. And then 60.1. Why don't I just use 60? Because you can see here, actually, let me zoom in. You see how there's stairs here now? Right? And if I put 60.1, then there's just the slightest teensy weensy bitsy blur in there. Now if we zoom in, we can see that this is smooth, right? And that's why I do this. Actually, doing it this way, I think it doesn't render quite so well on Firefox. So that's another thing that I kind of wanted to figure out. It's on my to-do list. So let's just look at MyxoTech.com on Firefox. Yes, sure. Okay, not translate. Yeah, here it kind of gets, it's the blur is already kind of there, and if you look closely, it's not as nice. We can see a little bit of stairs here. It doesn't render in the same nice manner than as it does on Chrome and whatever Chromium derivatives there are, like Arc, Opera, Edge, and so on. So it's another thing that's worth investigating, because, you know, hey, I'm recording this for you guys, so you know, perhaps there's a better way to even do this whole thing. Let's see. Sloped line. Okay. All right. Then we can go to the body. We can go to the claim. Let's make it 58%. Okay. Is this really? What's going on here? Why am I seeing an edge around this? Okay, there's no edge. This is fine. This is perfect. Let's just not even worry about it anymore. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. So what we want to do is we want to put in one more locally scoped variable in this frame. Width. Claim border. And on the actual frame up here, layout, no, is it border? Yeah, border, var claim border. This one and this one. And claim border is going to be Why again am I putting this here at all? It doesn't belong. There's no need to put this to be on the body. All of this can be on the frame. No, wait, no, of course, never mind. Needs to be on the body because the body is using the padding for the space, it's using the padding variable. Claim border, 5 pixels. Bingo, there we go. So this is all looking very nice. Now, I think we should be good. Yes. I don't know if I like that this is touching. Like if this were any longer, it would be touching. I'm thinking perhaps the padding of the actual body needs to be slightly larger than these lines. So we can now go here and wrap this in a calc. Var claim padding plus, I don't know, 1 rem. There. And we do this all the way around. Yeah. Right. And we don't need it on the right side. No. Can I go Control Z? Yes. Wait, they're unlinked. Why didn't, yeah. Fair enough. By the way, I'm using some CSS that I took from Sridhar, Katakam, and actually amended a little bit so that whenever I hover over the canvas, I get to see all the outlines of the elements on the canvas. If you're interested in that CSS, let me know. I'm going to find out where it's from. I'm going to post that link to you for you guys if you want it. And I can also post my own CSS somewhere and link to it. Just let me know. So now we're already 37 minutes in, and it's kind of late in the evening now. Do we take care of the button or not? I've got to think about how I'm building that button. Okay, what we're going to do now is auto-bam this. So this whole claim is going to be reused, right? We don't, the wrapper, of course, is not going to be reused. We have the body, everything is properly named. Everything has all the styling on it that we want. The styling, like the white text color is up here. It's set on the actual section, so that if we use this claim on a bright background, then we shouldn't put the text color in here. But all the styling is done at the ID level. So all we need to do now is right click here and we go to class converter. And we say we want this class claim to be claim body is fine, claim head wrapper, claim pre-heading. The pre-heading actually, we need to do the pre-heading. The pre-heading is not something that should be part of this BEM context, because we are going to have, possibly at least, claim pre-headings in other parts where they're not inside a claim, right? So the pre-heading is not something that just belongs to this claim. It belongs in various different contexts. So claim heading, claim blurb, claim frame. Yeah, all of this seems fine. Copy ID styles to the classes. Yes, we want to do that. And we want to erase the ID styles. Yes. And we create classes. And here we go. Now all of this is styled with classes. And for some reason, it still says we have ID styling. Maxime help. What happened here? Why is this still on the ID? What did I do? I thought I just told it to. Is that a bug? Is that a bug, or am I going nuts? Okay, let's remove this. Of course, style. There's CSS in here. Oh, the CSS didn't get transferred, did it? For some reason. Okay, so I'm just going to do this manually now. Oh, it didn't get deleted. Ha! Interesting. Okay, I'm going to let Maxime know that this is probably a bug. Oops. Style. We want this, don't want this here. And here we don't want any styling on the ID level either. And now what else is left at the ID level? Nothing? Should be nothing. Yeah, okay, it's nothing. So just in case you're wondering what we were looking at here now. So you can see if there's a red border here on this element in the structure panel, then that means that we have styling on the ID level. And if there's a like a cyan bright blue border on the left edge of the element, that means we have styling on a class. We have a class on this that does the styling. Obviously you can have both, which we just saw, and I got rid of the styling from the ID level. Now I think this is styled at the ID level. Is this okay? I mean, we're gonna have more, we're not gonna have more exactly like this. So this hero, at least for now, doesn't really need a class. It's our only hero that's going to be styled like this, right? And it's our only section that's going to have this particular styling. Unless I'm wrong. Well, this one has the same actually. So let's call this split section. Split section. And then the wrapper, what did we do on the wrapper? Oh, just a row gap. Yeah, okay. So split section, I gave it a class, and now, but it's still styled at ID level. So what I want to do now is to click this and say import ID styles to class. And now, you know, there's no more styling on the ID, and we just populated our class with all the styling, and we can use it again on a later section. Here's the thing though, we don't want the next split section to have the same background image. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the background image. I'm going to remove this. We do want the same background color, or at least we don't mind if we have the same background color. So all of this background attachment stuff, background position, background size, none of this we really need. Okay, so this actually needs to be, or you know, makes sense to have on the ID level. So we go back in here, and now I'm doing some work twice, but such is the life. We don't need full size, we need thumbnail size. That's more than enough. By the way, that even makes it a smaller picture now. So yeah. Background blend mode, we don't care. This should be fixed. Background position can be center. We have background repeat, yes. Background size, we have custom size, and we want it to be 10 rem, which is 100 pixels. And we want no background video. Oh, when did brxe introduce a background video as a feature? When did they do that? I seem to remember that wasn't a thing, and now it is. I might just be remembering wrong. It was always there, and I just never saw it. Anyway, so I think we've got this hero section where we want it to be. We don't have the button. We want to build a button. By the way, look at this, how nice. Yeah, if you scroll this now, this is going to be sticky. So very cool. We didn't do, yeah, this is the last thing for today. We're going to do the pre-heading. Now that the frame is, let's put the frame at z and x minus 1. Because I believe now the frame is just, yeah, see, like if, no, wait. Is the frame behind everything or not? Because just when I clicked, I selected the frame. I'm selecting the frame here. No matter where I click. But here I can highlight text. I can select text. No, I can't really, can I? No, I can't. So I'm thinking there's a z-index thing here that I need to fix. Layout z-index -1. See what happens if I do -1. 0 and the rest is 1. Is that what I need to do? Or do you need to do I need to set a new stacking context? I probably need to give this thing its own stacking context, which there was a video about that in Kevin's PB101 class, and I'm not entirely up to speed on how to do that. Isolation, isolate. So that's number one. And now I'm thinking this z-index that I set now is going to be within the context of just this, right? So I think if I give this z-index -1, it should still be visible. Okay, that's nice. That's a good start. And now can I select these? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Bingo. Everything's hunky-dory. So the pre-heading. All right, another quick interruption here. So there was a time jump here. Where was I? We were talking about the pre-heading. So this is what we're going to finish off here, right? So the pre-heading is really just bold, and I believe it has the same size as everything else, but it's bold and it has all caps. So that's all we need to do, really. So here, we didn't give it a class within that BEM context, but we're going to call this pre-heading. Pre-dash heading, and we are going to do text transform uppercase and just font weight bold. Yeah, 700. Let's see. Isn't this a variable font? Yeah, no. It's either bold or not. Right, yeah, okay, so 700 it is. And now we save. We're not doing any. At a later point, you know, since this is all BEMmed out now, this is going to be scalable and maintainable. So we can do all the responsive design for this later when we finish the whole page, because we do it once and then it's still going to be fine for the rest of the page for the other instances where this thing appears. Let's just do a last comparison. Are we looking similar? I mean, we don't have to be pixel perfect, of course, but we want to, of course, match this design. So just press Control P here for a preview. I don't know why brxe gives it this border in the preview, but obviously we don't need to worry about it because it's not actually there. And we have, I think we've got liftoff here. It's pretty nice. I mean, this goes out a little bit further on the Figma design. I mean, I'm guessing, yeah, I mean, actually, chemical diversity for a new era, and then there's only a little bit of distance here. So I can just bring in this just to get a little bit more of the effect. I think with the break is fine. You know, the line break or the edge of the actual body is okay where it is. But if we bring in the frame to about here, I think we're golden. And then next time we take care of the button. How many times have I, like, is this the third or fourth time that I'm saying, yeah, we're pretty much done, and then we're not? Yeah, probably. So let's do 65%. It's a little bit. Is this? Escape. Yeah. Yeah. Good enough. Let's make it 70. Let's make it 70 and be done with it. Watch some baby reindeer. It's a good show. Where is it? Here. Yeah. That's it. Bye, folks.